Please lead.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Lord, our loving Father, we thank you for the gift of today. As we are here in front of you, we ask you to send us your Holy Spirit as we begin our English lesson, so that we can be able to encounter whatever we are going to learn from our different hosts. As we have prayed all day through Christ our Lord. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Amen. I thank you so much for that prayer. Thank you so much, Ruth, for keeping the class active. So you're most welcome to today's lesson.
Please unmute.
Okay, as I was saying that you're most welcome to today's lesson. And I was saying that, Ruth, thank you so much for keeping the class active. I am just going through the chat, and I think whatever was going on here. Okay. People are so far. I'm looking through the topics. Identity crisis, some people school clubs. Wow. Wow. So people, what do we do? Because school clubs, when you look, someone actually mentioned childhood memories. That is the first topic in S3. School clubs, that's the second topic. So I don't know. I am even confused because I had planned, that we start on the first topic in S4. So I really don't know what to do because I'm seeing people are still really are so behind.
Okay.
So Ruth, what do you advise I do?
Okay, for me, what I think, it's what we did still in, not what I think, but what I heard from Mr. Kaziba. He said that would be covering senior 4 work so that we move a little ahead, even when people are still behind, because it's common in most subjects that we have not yet touched senior 4 work. So it's okay. Continue with your presentation.
Okay.
Let me check
All
the
right.
feedback through that chat. Let me see. I don't think there is anything. Let me see. The graphic is saying, yes, Form 4 work, most of us are not. Okay. Alison is saying most of them are not in Form 4. It's okay. Because of time, we can go on.
Okay. Someone is telling me that I should try summarizing. How? I don't know how, because all those topics are really long. Like now when you look at all these topics are hard, apart from maybe integrity. Integrity is a bit short and patriotism, but the rest, money and banking itself can really take like 3 weeks. So the topics are quite long. But as you go back to your different schools, I know that you'll continue from where you stopped. But for us, let's continue with the S4 work. Yes. All right. So I don't know whether some of you have got to look at the S4 work, but when you look at S4, the topics are short. Actually, I think the reason why maybe some of you in your different schools are still looking at the S3 work is because your teachers think the S4 work is not that much, which is true. So in S4, you will have how many topics? 4 topics. So you have leadership, you have the media, you have culture, and then you have choosing a career. Actually, there are 6. You have the first one is leadership, then media, culture, choosing a career, then you have applying for a job, and then lastly you have globalization. Unlike in S3, where in a term we've been having like 3 topics. Yeah, in a term, 3 to most schools would do 3 2 topics. But imagine in S4 for the 3 terms you have like 6 topics. So meaning in a term you will have like two topics, which is really good. So many of you will cover the S3 work. So please don't be anxious. Calm down and yeah, have faith that your teachers will take you really so fast so that you're able to finish the S3 work. So that is it for S4. So we are going to start with leadership. So leadership is our first topic in S4. And basically, as you know, with a new curriculum, we look at more of application of knowledge. So maybe for instance, when you talk about money and banking, because that is the last topic in S3, when you look at money and banking, are you able to apply the knowledge of money and banking in daily life? If we talk about, I know some of you have looked at money and banking in your school, and we've looked at the different ways in which banks have made work easy for us. Like for instance, you know that there is there is an ATM. You know about mobile agents. Can you easily walk to a mobile money agent and do transactions there? You as a person, if you have the knowledge of ATMs, can you easily walk to an automated teller machine and withdraw money from there? So that is it with the new curriculum. It's more of application. So the knowledge that we learn, it's about application. It's not about cramming, like how the old curriculum was about pre-write. Maybe you have multiple choice questions. No. And so basically the knowledge you learn, like for instance, if you do direct and indirect speech, are you able to apply it? Are you able to apply it when you're writing? For instance, you're writing, maybe you're writing a letter, a letter to maybe your parents. Are you able to put in some of the things that you learn in grammar? For instance, modal verbs, maybe you're looking at direct and indirect speech, you're looking at prepositions, you're looking at adjectives, you're looking at nouns. Are you able to apply all those things when it comes to writing? It's not a matter of just knowing, but it's a matter of application, applying what you learn in class to real life situation. Yeah, so I'm just giving a brief overview or an introduction. And then I know that in your schools, you've also been told that so far, what we know from NCDC is the structure, is that we have a structure of how the English language paper looks like. First is we have one paper. For now, we know that we have one paper. So the structure is the first number is the passage, whereby you're given a passage, and then after that, you're given questions, in which some questions will come from the passage, while with the other questions, you need to apply. You need to apply what you've learned from the passage to what you've learned from the passage to real life. Yeah, so you pick answers from the passage for some questions, but for other questions you need to apply, like we shall see in some of our lessons. Then after the passage, we have what we call the non-continuous text. I know maybe some of you are aware or know about it, whereby you have a text that limits. Okay, like for example, you can be given a picture that maybe has a few phrases or a few sentences in there. Maybe you have a map of a place with something. Then after that, you ask questions about whatever thing you have there. So non-continuous is that it is enclosed. You have information in a text, unlike in a passage. A passage is a continuous text, because you can have maybe a passage on maybe rural and urban life, like that. But here you can have, when it comes to non-continuous, you can have a picture of a rural place. Then you ask questions about that particular picture or that particular photograph, and then you answer. And then after that, after the non-continuous text, we have what we call writing. Now, when it comes to writing, here you're at liberty to write. For instance, you can be given a scenario. Maybe you're given a scenario. You're given a scenario, and then after that, from the scenario, you're given you're told to write. For instance, they tell you that maybe this is just an example. They tell you maybe you have noticed that there is rampant bullying in your school, which the school administration is not aware aware of. Then they tell you to maybe communicate to the head teacher about the bullying. You see, no one is telling you to write a letter to the head teacher. No one is telling you to maybe write a report to the head teacher, but you're just told to communicate to the head teacher. So it would be up to you as a student to look for the appropriate form of writing that you can use to communicate to who? To the head teacher. I don't know whether some of you are getting it, but I know after that I'll open the floor and you'll ask questions. So we don't restrict you to saying write a letter to the head teacher. We just say use an appropriate form of writing, or we can tell you to communicate to the head teacher. So for you as a person, you will sit down and be like, okay, if I am to write, if I'm to communicate to the head teacher, do I write an informal letter to the head teacher? No. Do I write a formal letter? Yes. So you sit down and look for the appropriate form of writing, or a way that you can easily really communicate to the head teacher, because you could use a report, you could use a letter, what else? You could use different forms depending on what you've been taught in your different schools. So that is it. So that is writing. That's part C. It has writing, and you could write an essay. You could write what many of you say composition. You could write a speech. You could write minutes. You could write a CV. You could write so many things. As we shall look at some of them. Okay, so maybe let me see. Okay, someone is saying, excuse me, teacher, can I ask something? Yes. Yeah, Kali. Now let me maybe open. If you have a question, you can. Someone was telling me to slow down. Vanang, was I so fast? Okay, so any question? Anything that you didn't understand as I was explaining? Maybe we could pick some few questions. Ruth, you could help me with the questions. Guys, if you have any question, just put up your hand. Either Ruth, Aris, you can help me with the questions. And before I move to what I have to teach today.
And in the chat, that's pretty. Is it pretty? The messages are really many. Pressy was asking, I have a question. Can she ask a question? I don't know where she went. Pressy, if you're on, please raise your hand. I don't know if that's even the name. Okay. But if you have any question, please. Okay. Bakita?
Pressure, kindly ask your question.
Bakita is unmuted.
Madam, I would like to ask if you could help me with minute writing. I'm not very well with minute writing. If you could help, please.
Tisha, have you had that?
Yeah, I think I heard she mentioned that she's interested in what, minute writing or?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Minute writing. I'll need another lesson for that, not in today's lesson.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, then I'm seeing Priscilla asking, do we have one English paper? Because my school always gives us 2 papers. I don't know about your school, but so far, the information that we have from UNEB is that we have 1 paper. But anyway, maybe as you go back to school next term, your schools will clarify. But so far, all I know is we have one paper in which the one paper has 3 questions. Like I said, it has a passage, or what we call the continuous text. It has the non-continuous text. And then the other thing is it has the writing. And in which I say that the writing will depend on what the scenario is, because you're given a scenario. And then after that, you interpret the scenario, then use the appropriate form of writing to answer, or to answer what is in the scenario.
Most people
So far that
are
I
in
don't
the
really.
chat, about 2 people. Oh, sorry. Have I interrupted you, teacher?
No, it's okay.
From Nunji, is it Nunji? Oh, someone's mic is unmuted. Nunji, Shahida is asking, please help with, she's requesting you to help with summary work. Then Brian is also asking you to teach summary work. Deogracious is saying the problem is with the writing. And then maybe have something to say and we hear from Preshi. Preshi, please unmute.
Excuse me, teacher. I'd like to ask about something whereby you said about non-continuous speeches or passages. About something whereby they give the the picture, then you talk about, like, they ask you questions about it. So are we supposed to just imagine something, then we create it up in order to make that story that we need?
Hey, not really preshy. Maybe not. It might not necessarily be a photograph, but it could be just information. But the information is not much. You're just given some information. Then from you as a person, you have to interpret the information. Like for instance, let me mention that maybe you're given information about HIV, AIDS, but maybe you're given a few causes. They can give you like 3 causes of HIV, AIDS, maybe 3 effects. Then now they ask you, what are some of the other effects of HIV, AIDS, apart from the ones listed in the text? So it's not necessarily a photograph, just information. Information could be in a photograph with of course a few guidelines. It could be maybe information on personal hygiene, but of course you're not given a lot of information, so that you're able to interpret what is in that particular text and then apply it to real life situation. So pressure, I think that is it. I saw someone was saying. And then about summary writing, I also still don't know what you've been told in your schools, but I don't know whether you know that with the old curriculum, summary writing you used to carry 20 marks. But in the new curriculum, summary writing might just carry like 2 marks or 3 marks. So have that in mind, that and actually it will come, maybe for instance, you have still a passage on maybe a passage on personal hygiene. Let me say that, because I said the first number is always a passage, or what we call the continuous text. So you have maybe a continuous text on personal hygiene, and then they tell you that in not more than 15 words, maybe summarize the benefits of personal hygiene, or maybe summarize the benefit of personal hygiene. So imagine that you just need a benefit. They will tell you in not more than 15 words, in not more than maybe 10 words. So when it comes to the new curriculum, we don't focus so much on summary writing as we used to in the old curriculum. We teach it, but it doesn't carry as much marks. It carries the normal marks, 2 or 3 marks. So you don't have to really disturb yourself a lot with summary writing. The summary writing require both the fair and rough copy. And I don't want to go into summary writing now. Creative writing still falls under under writing. So writing has so many. It has the creative writing. It has the functional writing, and so on. Shall we have a chance to view the screen? Yes, Salma, you will. Then, Teacher, I would love to see your face because the facial expression matters. Okay. Does summary writing require both the fair and rough copy? Yes, it requires the rough and fair copy. How can you tell the difference between story writing and report writing? Techno, I wish you could rename yourself because I don't know anyone called Techno. I think is a mobile. It's a telephone. Okay, what is it called? It's a phone brand or what? But so I don't know. I really don't. If so, kindly rename yourself before I answer your question. So there's nothing like rewrites in the paper? Yes. So there's nothing like rewrites. Throw more light on memo writing. Help
Teacher,
us with.
I
Ah,
suggest we do begin because the questions are many. I think people keep listing until they finish the whole syllabus.
yes,
Yes.
true.
So if you don't mind, and then in the remaining minutes of the lesson, because we are still studying for the next 2 weeks, you'll be answering them one by one for as long as
Yeah.
they attend early.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you
Thank you,
so
Ruth.
much.
So I think that is better. Someone is asking, is a report the same as a statement? They are a bit different. Okay. People have so many things like report writing, minute writing, CV, memo, statement. You people, we might not be able to finish all those things with the time that we have. Okay, so for now, let me go into what I had planned. Like I said, the first topic in S4 is leadership. So we are looking at leadership, and we are going to look at who a leader is, what leadership is, and so on. Hmm. Okay. People, I think I'll answer the questions after. I'll answer the questions. There are so many questions. Okay, so what is, let me just share my screen. So Ruth will help me because I'm going to share my screen. I might not be able to see, but maybe before that, Faith, your hand is up. Your hand is up, Faith. I don't know.
Faith, unmute. Maybe she forgot it out. Let's proceed. Faith?
Excuse me, teacher. Hello.
Yes,
So
Faith.
the question was, our teacher told us that, yeah, we have one paper, but the thing is that there are 3 sections. It's what she told us.
Yeah, I think that's what I've also mentioned, that we have 3 sections. So there's nothing different. So she's right.
Okay. Thank
Hmm. Okay. Ruth, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Okay. So we are looking at leadership. Maybe the first thing I'll ask is, who is a leader? That's the first question. Who is a leader? Ruth, do we have any hand up?
Not yet.
So
Divine?
class, let's make this lesson very interactive. Because if you don't cooperate, I will proceed. This has to be an interactive session because you need to give me the answers.
I
Divine?
think I think a leader is a person who can stand up to lead others in the right way or show them direction.
Okay.
In the
Do
chat,
you
before I go to the rest of the hands, in the chat, Nunji says a leader is a person, okay, who leads us. Then Linda,
I think a leader is a person who has been given authority to lead others.
to lead
okay.
others. Ravin, okay, Ravin, please unmute.
A leader is a person with authority to take control or to guide others.
And then
Okay.
lastly from Emmanuel Sekaita. Emmanuel, please unmute.
Yes, I think a leader is a person who has the qualities to lead others.
Okay.
Okay.
Through the chat, teacher, lastly, TechnoSpark 5 says a leader is a person who is capable to lead others. A leader is a person who is chosen by a group of people to govern and lead people. That's from Faith. Coming in from Slivia, is a leader is a person with authority to lead and guide others. Okay, I think we can proceed.
Okay. So a leader is a person who okay. And I've had different responses, but maybe one thing I want to remind you, class, is that when you're defining a word, kindly don't use the same word to define it. Like maybe say, like for instance, a leader is a person maybe who has been assigned to lead others. Unless you say maybe to be in charge or maybe to have authority over other people. So avoid using the same word to lead, to avoid using the same word to define that word, because you'll not get a mark for it. Okay, so we start by saying that like many of you have said that a leader, so maybe let me have someone read the screen anyway. Ruth, could we have someone read?
Let's have Faith. Amy. Amy,
Ruth,
please
is
unmute.
someone reading? I can't hear.
See,
Okay, the screen says, who is a leader? A leader is someone who directs and motivates a group of people or an individual to accomplish a certain goal. E.g.,
Okay.
president, parents, firstborns, prefects, etc.
Okay. Thank you so much. So, in simple terms, you say that a leader is someone who directs and motivates a group of people or an individual to accomplish a certain goal. So someone who is in charge of something, that is what we call a leader. Okay, Nana, go play with baby. So for example, we can talk about the president, we can talk about our parents, because our parents have authority over us, so they are leaders. Even firstborns have a lot of authority because they have an authority, they have that role. They have like they are more of deputy parents, so they are also leaders in one way or the other. It could be prefects at school, could class captain, class monitor, it could be a teacher, the head teacher, and all that. So we have so many leaders. Then what is leadership? Before I go to the next slide, what is leadership, class?
okay. Karima Rodney.
Just Oh, I wanted to. Influence.
I can't hear.
Was not heard. Rodney, once again.
I wanted to ask a question to about
Yes,
the
Rodney.
definition of a leader. I wanted to know the difference between a leader and an influencer based on the definition we're given.
Okay. Okay. Could someone tell us who an influencer is? Who is an influencer, class?
So if you want to give that answer, you keep your hand up. Anyone? Priscilla, do you want to give that? Priscilla? Okay, Imi.
Can you hear me?
Oh, Priscilla, please speak.
An influencer is a person who can change people's ideas or decisions based on a particular topic.
Yeah. I think that is it, Ruth. We don't need to go really much. So there's a difference between a leader and an influencer. So an influencer, like someone has said, is someone who can change someone's opinion maybe about something. We can talk about maybe someone who is able to change someone's lifestyle, political preference, someone's social network and all that. But unlike a leader is someone who directs and motivates a group. Okay, like when talk about motivating a group of people or an individual to accomplish a certain goal, is we say that leaders are supposed to lead by example. So that is why we talk about leaders motivating a group of people. Like for instance, you have maybe in your schools you have maybe head prefects. Some of you have head girls. Head girls motivate people. It motivates a group of people to accomplish a certain goal. For instance, in a way that they will tell you that when you do housework, you're doing it for your own good, because you're doing it maybe to groom, for you to become a better person in future, for you to become a better maybe wife in future, to be a better husband in future. You see, they are now motivating, they are motivating you. Unlike an influencer will tell you to do something, even if it's something wrong. They'll tell you, you take alcohol. It is good for you. But a leader will not tell you, that. Like a good leader will not tell you that. They'll motivate you and they'll discourage you maybe against doing something that is not right. But an influencer can can an influencer can make you do something. Like some of us have maybe gay couples that are influencing us. Some of us maybe have drug addicts and all. So there are so many things when it comes to influencers. Okay. So looking at what leadership is, and I didn't get what Rodney said. Rodney, what had you said? Sorry.
Rodney, Rodney, where is your hand? Okay, I think Rodney was saying he was asking the difference between an influencer and a leader. Because
Oh, okay. Okay. So do we have anyone who is willing to define what leadership is?
if you're willing to define, you leave your hand up. In it,
Yes, leadership is an action of directing and motivating a group of people or organization. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So it is an action. Okay. So thank you so much. So when you talk about leadership, so many people really aspire to become leaders because of maybe the prominence and prestige associated with positions of leadership. Like for instance, someone might just want to be the head prefect, maybe because of the respect the head prefect is given. Someone will just want to be a class monitor because she wants to get back at a friend and all that. So, however, effective leaders know that leadership is a responsibility, not a privilege. So when you're made a leader, it is actually a very big responsibility. It's not just a privilege. When you see someone being the head prefect, it's not a privilege, but it is a very big responsibility that they have been given. So a leader is a servant of the people. Actually, you become a servant all your life if you are a leader. So when choosing leaders, we should choose people with the right qualities and capacity to handle the work associated with the leadership positions. Because we have said that a leader is a servant of the people. So you need to choose a leader who can handle the work they have been given really, really well. And a good leader should be admired by everyone. A leader should take criticism positively and use it to improve on serving the people. Some leaders will take criticism so bad when they are criticized, they would always want to get back. They would always want to get back at people. That is not leadership. With leadership, you have to accept criticism. And through that, you're able to become a better leader. So I don't know, maybe let me just ask that, has any of us ever really been a leader? Perhaps some of you are even firstborns in your families, and then some of you always think that you're maybe born leaders. As I don't know whether some of you have ever been class captains, class maybe prefects in your school. We are going to see that. We are going to discuss the experiences we've had with the different leadership positions that we've had. So leadership is the ability of an individual or a group of people to influence and guide followers or members of an organization, society, or a team. So that is what we call leadership. So if you're able to really guide people, you're able to lead a group of people well, then that is what we call leadership. So let me maybe ask, has any of you ever been a class captain? If you have ever been a class captain, kindly put up your hand and you tell us your experience, what experience you got from being a class captain.
How? Oh, please unmute. Okay.
Yeah, my experience is actually okay. It wasn't that good. It wasn't also that bad. In that, I think I'm someone who over. Okay, I was someone who like wanted things to go right. So at some point, yes, it went well, but I also got haters. So it wasn't an easy job, though I had to do it anyway.
Okay. Any other person?
Another person. Selma. Selma, please speak. I don't seem to be hearing
Yeah,
Selma.
my experience was
Oh,
that at times we don't have teachers in class. It is your responsibility. My experience was
I can't. I think we've lost her.
Palma, please unmute.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Hello. I was saying that my experience was teachers were not in class by the time for lesson, and you have to go to the teacher. We are having a lesson, yet students don't want to have the lesson, so that was a challenge.
Oh, thank you, Salma. That was a good that was a good experience. So you see that as a leader, you have to take the lead, and you have to do even what others really don't like, as long as you know you're doing the right thing. Let me ask another question: that do you have any leaders? Do you have leaders that inspire you to take up leadership positions one day? Maybe you can just say which leader is that and maybe why. So do we have leaders that inspire us to take up leadership positions one day?
Simon Peter. Simon Peter, please unmute.
It's the president.
Simon, which president?
Seven.
Oh, why?
Because he is experienced, wise, he knows what he does. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, thank you, Simon. Any
Someone
other
agrees.
person?
There is someone in the chat who agrees with Simon. Glenn says, yes, we have like the president of Uganda has merged to rule us no matter people's hatred.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Do you have any other hand?
From Helen. Helen, please unmute.
I think I personally, it's Rebecca Kadaga who inspires me a lot. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, Rebecca Kadaga inspires me a lot because she's really strong, confident. I just really like her.
Teacher, have you got her?
I didn't get her. Did you get her?
Yes. She said that Rebecca Kadaga inspires her a lot.
Okay. All right. Did she give a reason?
Yes, she says she talks about her confidence, her strength, and she'd really love to be like her.
Oh, okay.
Then Slavia in the chat says like our Prime Minister of Uganda because she likes the Prime Minister of Uganda because she's exemplary to everyone.
Okay.
Then Nelson Mandela from Angel. Angel says that Nelson Mandela fought despite the discrimination.
Wow.
And then from who? Okay. Lastly, from Pershi.
Hello.
Yes, Fresh.
Um. My the leader that inspires me is the former President Barack Obama, who, despite all throughout his regime, he didn't make war with any of the countries. Yet, despite all the other presidents that have been on the chair, have been carrying out fights. So, I was inspired by Barack Obama that it is good to lead a nation without creating ground.
Okay.
other people. Okay, thank you for
Oh,
listening.
wow. Okay.
Amy?
Thank you, Preshi. I think that should be the last person.
Yes, she is.
Thank you. Well, the leader that I really look up to is called Priscilla Shira. She's a Black American. I like her so much because she's a motivation speaker. She preaches God, and then she has the activist part of her, that she loves people, she cares for them, and that is what I want. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, class, for sharing okay, and for also really accepting that you have people who inspire you to take up leadership positions. I can say that I think of the leaders that you people have mentioned, I also really admire them so much. And I am also always motivated to take up any leadership position if I have the opportunity, because I know that I am serving people, and at the same time, I'm also serving God through that particular leadership position. So we are going to look at the different leadership styles. And when you talk about we have different leadership styles, and we are going to look at them. And then after that, you as a person, you'll be able to, we shall know, because some of us have seen how our head teachers or how headmistresses, leaders, how the president, how maybe the counselors, the class captain, the head girl. So we are going to put them into this. We are going to categorize them into the different leadership styles that we are going to look at. But maybe before that, I just want us to look at this photograph really well, and then I'm going to ask a few questions from this photograph. So this is the new curriculum. I know some of you might be like, okay, teacher, why? But this is not the new curriculum, and whatever we are studying now really matters a lot, because you will always need to apply what we are looking at, now into real life situation. Do you wanna go? Okay. So what can you see when you look at part A? Anyone? Part A?
From who? Linda? Okay, let's hear from Praise.
Leader from picture A is guiding the lady.
Then from...
Okay, thank you. So from picture A is guiding the lady. And then what can we say? What can we see in picture B?
A
What can we
chat,
see?
Tarema Rodney says A is a leader, then B is just a boss.
Okay, B is a boss, the other one is a leader. Thank you. Any other person?
I've asked you to unmute.
Okay, for me, what I see in picture A, that leader is a good leader because he's directing the workers what to do in a polite way. But in picture B, I'm seeing the leader is very harsh. Let me say it's like he's about to slap the workers. So in picture B, the leader is so harsh, and in picture A, the leader is good and has
Okay.
good leadership skills.
Okay, you're calling yourself future journalist. I request you use your actual name for better results. Back to you, teacher.
Okay, thank you so much, Ruth. Thank you so much. Was that feature journalist?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, feature journalist. Okay, so when you look at really A, we see that the person is really very calm, and he's trying to show the lady, I think, how to do something, and that is how a leader should be. But when you look at the second photograph, the leader looks to be very tough, even the people that are there are so scared. So that is not how a leader should be. As a leader, people should uh, should should be calm when you're around them. They should be calm. They should like, but don't make people scared. Like when people see you and they start like now, if like how some of you see a teacher coming and then the next thing you're doing is you're all running away. You see, it's not good to do that, because as a leader, people should be free with you. People should learn how to approach you in case they are going through a challenge. At least, like you should be calm. Yeah, I know you know what I'm talking about. So let's look at a few questions. So do the two leaders that you have seen use the same way of management? Do the two leaders that you have seen use the same way of management?
Namadi.
What can we say? Nana, keep quiet, baby. Keep quiet, baby. Okay.
In the chat, someone, the Thelma says no faith, no praise, not really. So that the feedback is no.
Okay. So that's very true. So the answer is no. The two of them use very different styles of management. The other one is guiding the people that he's working with, while the other one is very tough and is shouting at the people that he's working with to an extent that they're even scared. They're even scared of him. Yes, so this is another question. When you were a class monitor, how did you, so it's supposed to be, how did you lead your fellow students? Just imagine, if I know some of you have been class monitors, or some of you are even still class monitors in your schools. How did you lead your fellow students?
Mark? Mark, please unmute. Okay, Mark is not on. Emmanuel?
As a leader, I've always told people, as in my classmates, for example, the class captain as well, so I've always told them to be truthful, to do things in the right way. For instance, if the teacher is not around, discuss in your group.
Okay. Thank you, Emmanuel. That is a good one.
From the chat, Thelma says, I used to give them motivational quotes to encourage them in their studies and discipline. Then in Phoenix, I just made sure that they always take the good path. Then Kasumba says, okay, Kasumba for him is negative. He says, for sure, when leading them, I'm a little bit harsh because they are big-headed. Then Maria, personally, I try to be understanding to those who have matters to address.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much for all your responses. I hope that we are learning lessons. But of course, I would also agree with the person who said that they'll be tough, because at times when you're so soft as a leader, people can also tend to take advantage of you. So as a leader, mean business when you mean business. Like there's always time for everything. So mean business when you mean business. So then someone talks about being understanding and all that. All those are qualities of a good leader, which is really good. Then this is another question. Sorry about the typos. So this is supposed to be, your father is a leader at home. Does he always command you to do home chores? Or does he sit down and agree with you on what you should do? Let's have a few hands here.
Okay.
Let's have a few hands.
Let me begin. As for me, it's Ruth. As for me, at home first, we decided we put it into order. We have a routine. So whether you don't want or you want, a rota was put up. So you just wake up, go to the rota and see the house chore you're going to do that day. So that is what he resolved to.
Wow.
Other than working.
That is a good one. Any other?
Then from Salma, she says, my father knows that I know what to do, so he does command me if there is anything new. I think so he doesn't command me. So if there is anything new, he informs me. Alinda Joan agree with me because if okay. Then yes, my father tells me to do house chores. Then we sit and agree from Endezo. Okay. Let's hear from Derin, Delin. Delin, please unmute. Okay, Delin is not on. Sharia.
We agree about what I'm supposed to do because sometimes the work is new and then I do it perfectly because if he commands me, I'll end up messing up with the work.
Okay.
Then
Wow.
Ari Barry Hallmark has a question. Please unmute.
Yes, like I was asking, if your father tells you to do something and Kari, like you feel it, for him he thinks that it will be good, but for you, Kari, like let's say you are going to play football, but he what he says you should not go, but when you see you have that talent, what do you do?
Okay. I think Oba, should I first answer that? So the best thing is to talk to your father. Communication is very important. You wait when your father is in a good mood, go sit there, and then tell your father that you love football so much and that you can always do your chores early so that by the time you want to go for football, you finished what you're supposed to do. So it's about communication. But some of us fear our parents so much in that even we, to an extent that we can't even approach them when we are going through our challenges. So I would advise that you talk to him, get time, just walk to him and say, Father, maybe I love football so much. I promise to always do maybe my chores early so that I get time to go play football. I know they will understand. But now some of you want to wake up football. Then you don't want
Alinda,
to touch anything in the house.
sorry, Lisa, let me interrupt. Alinda is interrupting in the chat and she's saying some dads have no moods.
They have no moods.
Mm.
No, I think we are all human beings, people. You just you get a time when his mood is at its best, when his mood is good. Always have all of us always have that time when we are really so happy and all that. But you should have ways of getting your parents at times do the things that you feel are also beneficial to you as a person. They even can you wait for them to come back home in the evening, give them a cup of tea. You can even help and take off their stockings that day, at least even offer to polish their shoes. Then after that, you pass your point. You make you pass your message across. Like look for those ways that you can really use to make them also really do what is beneficial.
Okay,
Hey,
teacher,
you are the
lastly,
person.
let's have lastly. Okay, I'm sorry if your name is not clear, like Dan Rose. Okay, if your names are not clear, I may not be able to pick you. I requested we use our right names, so you kindly rename to your full names because this is a formal meeting. Glenn?
Okay, for me, what I wanted to say, like my father, first of all, ensured friendship between us. Now, sending me to do something, like he won't find it difficult, and I also won't find that very hard. Since we are friends
Okay, Ruth, I didn't pick that so well.
He's low. Glenn, pardon, in summary.
What I wanted is like my father, first of all, ensured friendship between the two of us. Now, like ordering me to do something, you won't find it hard, and I also won't find it that very hard. Since, okay, he's like a friend ordering me to do something, I won't find it hard.
Okay. All right. So it depends with the relationship that you have with your father. So, like someone mentioned that they have a timetable on who does what at what time. So about that, on who does what at what time.
Teacher, before you go on,
Wow.
Linda is asking, why didn't you ask about moms?
Okay. Sorry about that. So someone just fell over here and yeah, sorry. Okay, so I was saying that you can have a timetable so that at least your parents don't have to really order you around to do things. It is good to agree with them and see who does what so that we don't reach this extent of your father commanding you to do home chores, instead sitting down and agreeing with you on what you should do. So people have different leadership styles.
Teacher.
Yes, Ruth?
Sorry for interruption. Linda was asking, why didn't you ask about moms?
Oh, okay. Because of time, I might not really go into moms so much because of time. Okay, so people have different leadership styles in our community. Like, for instance, the same way Ruth's father um, plays his leadership role might not be the same way Emmanuel's father plays his leadership role, or the same way maybe Aris's father plays his leadership role. So we are different in a way, and we all have different leadership styles. So we are going to look at some of the leadership styles.
Teacher,
styles of
sorry. Again, sorry for interruption. Someone is complaining.
Yes.
Simon Peter, please raise your hand. The hands are really many, and we still have to catch up with the lesson. But I think he has something to say. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Simon Peter, do you have anything to say? Please unmute. I've asked you to unmute. Okay. I think he doesn't have anything to say, but I'm sorry if I don't pick up, especially those whose names are not clear. Linda wants to read. She would love to read, I don't know what. And then Atugonza has a question. You have questions? Please unmute. Joel? Joel, you're not clear.
What I'm saying, I really like receive the notes.
Okay, Joel, you're not clear. Kindly type your question in the chat. I'll read it out. Let's proceed.
Okay, so do we still have hands up?
Yes. Glenn, do you have anything to say? And Namadi? Glenn? Glenn is off. Glenn, you're not unmuting. I think we can proceed. Linda?
Okay.
Linda, your hand is up.
Okay, what I'm actually asking you people to do for me is I'm raising up my hand and you're not picking me, and I would love to read something which is put on the screen. That's all I have to say. Thank you so much.
You said you would love to do what?
Should love to read.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, she's going to read the next screen. So, maybe just to ask people, do we know of any leadership styles? Any leadership styles that you know of? Maybe we can brainstorm on them before I share my screen.
Okay, Techno, come on, has no mic. Please, okay. Bakita? Linda, you're going to read, but let's have Bakita.
Some leadership styles that I know of cooperating, like the leader comes down and then discusses with the others and then not being just bossy all the time. That's one I know of. Did you get me?
You were very low. I didn't get you well.
You're very low. I don't know. I think you're using headsets that are stereotyping your voice.
Okay. Are you getting me clearly now?
Mm.
Okay, I was saying, like, the leaders being, let me say, cooperative with the others. They not only mobilize it, they just come and then discuss with the others, not only giving orders that you do this, but they also ask of others' opinions and then share their ideas together.
Okay. All right. So meaning maybe leadership, okay. I think she mentioned a cooperative leader is a leadership style. Could we have any other hand, or I share what I have?
Define.
Well, can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can hear you.
Dictatorship style, whereby the leader directs others on what to do. No opinions brought by the people who are being led. Like, I tell you something to do, no rejections. That's the dictatorship style.
Okay. Thank you. Any other?
Yes, from someone's called Lenovo. If I've asked you to unmute, please introduce yourself and then say your answer. Please unmute. What's your
Hello?
name? Hello, your
Cecilia.
name?
Alamo.
Okay, proceed.
Okay, some leadership skills like some people have descriptions, like someone directs others, likes to give opinions without others' knowledge in it.
Oh, okay, kind of a dictator.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Alamo.
But is it the truth?
Okay, next and lastly, from Patience, you've not yet said anything.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Patience. The type of the leadership style I wanted to air out is the democratic kind of leadership, whereby everyone expresses their own opinions as not opposed by any other parties.
Okay,
Thank you.
Patience.
Thank you so much. Okay. So, so when you talk about leadership styles, like apart from there are so many leadership styles, we are going to look at 5 of them, in which some of you have already mentioned some that I wanted to talk about. Can we have someone read what we have on the screen?
We had decided, Linda. Linda, you ready?
Yes.
Okay, please read.
Styles of leadership. Authoritarian.
Yes.
Leader has authoritarian. This leader has absolute control over decision making. The team members are not asked for input. They are expected to accept and follow all decisions and orders made by the leader.
Okay, thank you so much, Linda. So when you talk about the styles of leadership, the first one is an authoritarian. Wow, an authoritarian leader. So this leader has absolute control over all decision. Do you know this person who will say, my decision is the final? The rest of you are just noisemakers. That is what we call an authoritarian leader. So the team members are not asked for any input. So for instance, you're a class captain, and then when you say, maybe when you talk about, when you say that, maybe for example, you say that, Ruth, you'll be taking out the dustbin the whole week. For you, some of your classmates might say, Bambi, why just Ruth? Why not so-and-so? Why just Ruth? Why not have someone else and all that? So that person will say, no, I have said it and that is it. So that is what we call an authoritarian leader. No input, no, he doesn't accept, okay, that person doesn't accept input from other people. So he makes the final decision. So they are expected to accept and follow all decisions and orders made by the leader. So if the leader has made an order, you cannot change it. You cannot say anything. You go by what that person has said. So that is what we call an authoritarian leader. So that is the first style of leadership. And we are going to see that we have, even in our homes, we have people who are authoritarian. We have firstborns who are authoritarians. If they have said something, they have said it. Even if your other siblings come and say, no, why don't we do it like this? Why not like this? They are, I have said it and that is it. Even some of our parents are like that. Then the second type of leadership, could we have someone read what we have on the screen?
Yeah.
Someone was complaining still. Was it Blair? Blair, raise your hand if you do want to participate. Okay. Mackenzie. Mackenzie.
Okay, democratic style. The leader makes decisions based on the input of the followers or team members. The followers or team members are active participants in decision making.
Okay, thank you so much. So here, just from the word democracy, this is a democratic style whereby the leader makes decisions based on the input of the followers or team members. So the followers or team members are active participants in decision making. So this person gives opportunity to the team members to also suggest. Like for instance, maybe in your class, I'll still use class because most of us are familiar with how our classes look like. Maybe your class captain wants to make a timetable. What timetable for? What timetables do you have in class? Ruth, what are some of the activities that happen in your class? Maybe sweeping, taking the dustbin out. What else?
mopping.
Then,
Yes, basically that.
okay. Or even just picking books from the library. Maybe your class captain wants to make maybe a timetable for the different people, maybe that are in charge of textbooks, maybe taking the dustbin out and all that. So he will call for a class meeting and be like, okay, people, I want to do a timetable. How should the timetable look like? You see, so then for many of you will now suggest and say, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this. But for an authoritarian, that person will be like, I have made a timetable and we're all going to abide by it. You see, that is an authoritarian. But democratic, this person allows people to make decisions. Okay, let's move to the next one. Can we have someone read the screen?
Alice? Where is she? Alice, unmute.
Okay. Hello, are you listening to me?
Yes, we can. Please proceed.
Charismatic style. The leader has a magnetic personality and conviction to work towards a specific vision. Charismatic leaders use eloquent communication and persuasion to unite their followers or team members and make them excited about their vision.
Okay, thank you so much. So when you talk about the charismatic lead style, the leader has a magnetic personality and conviction to work towards a specific vision. Who can explain what that means, class? Anyone, Ruth? When you talk about a magnetic personality.
Eva? Right. Unmute Iris. Okay, he's off. Vanessa? Okay, in the chat, Maria says that Maria is saying they're able to bring people together and work towards achieving a goal. And then Namadi. And people unmuting.
Yeah, I suppose these kind of people have like persuasive words or convincing words that make others to come to whatever they're saying or believe in what he's saying. I think that's all.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. So thank you. So that is it. So with the charismatic, from the word charisma, yeah, these people have a very sweet tongue. Like when you talk about someone, a leader, the leader has a magnetic personality. You know what a magnet does? You know what a magnet does? So a magnet kind of sticks. Like when you put it to something that attracts it, it attracts and sticks there. So that's what we call a magnetic personality. These people have a way of persuading people who do what they want. Like when you look at politicians have that charismatic style because they have a way of making people believe that what they want to do. People believe that they will actually do it. Maybe they say, we shall construct the roads. All of you will get jobs. You know, that is a magnetic kind of personality. You make people attracted. You make people be attracted to you by convincing them or persuading them to believe in a particular thing. So, and then they have that conviction to work towards a specific vision. Maybe this person has a vision of being a member of parliament for a particular maybe district. So they'll work towards that vision. So charismatic leaders use eloquent communication and persuasion to unite their followers and team members and make them excited about their vision. That is when they present their manifesto and they tell you, if you vote me in, I will make sure that maybe all of you get jobs. I will make sure that all of you have food on your tables, you see. So they are very eloquent and they use a lot of persuasion. So that is what we call a charismatic style. So thank you so much. So let's look at the next type. Ruth, can we have someone read it?
Okay, I'm picking someone who has not participated yet. Let me see. Purity.
Thank you. I'm called Purity. Transactional style. Leaders here set goals and put structures in place for their followers or team members to work by. Motivation to engage in is achieved through a reward system for those who succeed and a punishment system for those who fail.
Okay, thank you so much. So when we talk about transactional style, is that we've said that leaders here set goals and put structures in place for their followers or team members to work by. This one, I think many leaders actually use this. Even when you look at, let me go back to our class captains. They set goals. They're like, okay, I want this class to be the best class. I want the class to be maybe the model class. Maybe I want I want this class to be always very clean. Teachers to maybe say only positive things about this class. You see, that is what we call transactional style. So leaders set goals and put structures in place. So structures in place in a way that maybe for noise making, the class captain will be like, I will make sure that I hand over the list of noise makers every week to the class teacher or to maybe the head prefect or to the head girl. And then they'll be like, if anyone maybe doesn't do what they're supposed to do, maybe cleaning the class, taking the dustbin out, maybe I punish them. You see, they set goals and put structures for their followers or team members to work by. Even us as teachers, the schools that we teach have put structures and set goals for us. Now, be like, maybe at the end of this term, you must make sure that you finish the syllabus. You see, that is already a goal. And most leaders use this transactional style. So then they also use motivation to engage. Motivation to engage is achieved through a reward system for those who succeed and a punishment system for those who fail. For instance, maybe your class captain will be like, maybe those of you maybe that have been able to maybe abide by the class rules and regulations will get something at the end of the term. Then maybe those that were not able will be punished. That is when you will hear at assembly some people being called out as maybe being called because their name is in the punishment book, other people being rewarded as maybe girl of the week, maybe housework, housework girl of the week, and all that. So those are rewards. So many organizations use this transactional style, and it has really yielded a lot of results. So let's look at the last type of leadership. Let's look at the last type of leadership before we go to some questions.
Okay. Ketra. Petra, we cannot hear you. Your mic is not clear. Who has not yet participated? Patience. Patience, please unmute. Okay. Maria K.
Right, hope I'm audible.
Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello?
Please proceed.
Uh, uh, there's laissez-faire or hands-off style. This style leaves the decision making up to the followers or team members and delegates many tasks to them with or no supervision. Everybody is an equal decision maker and every piece of input from the team is considered equally.
Okay, thank you so much. So this is laissez-faire or hands-off style. So this is a very dangerous style. So this style leaves the decision making up to the followers or team members. Like now you as a class captain, you'll be like, okay, I have no say. You people decide what you want to do. And then now your class will be like, okay, for us, we have chosen to always make noise throughout the whole prep. So because you have left them, you have given them you've given them the authority to do what they want. They'll do what they want. So, and then the same person will delegate so many tasks to them with or no supervision. You see, maybe people will be like, we shall start coming to work at 8. Okay, sorry about the interruption. So someone like if it is if it is in an organization, people will be like, we shall come to work at 8 a.m. And yes, people will start coming to work at 8 a.m., at 9 a.m., at 10 p.m. Yes, because you've given them the liberty to decide. And here there's no supervision. So if you come at work at 10 a.m., no one will know that you came at 10 a.m. So here, actually, people will be happy that they are making their own decision, but at the expense of the organization. If, for instance, it is a school and teachers they'll tell the head teacher, okay, for us, our lessons will always start at 8 a.m. And then for you have a lesson at 8 a.m., but because the teachers are at liberty to do what they want, they'll come at 9. Maybe because most of our lessons are maybe 70 minutes, at 9:10, you're not seeing any teacher. The following day, no teacher. You see, you miss all those lessons because it is a hands-off style. So everybody is an equal decision maker and every piece of input from the team is considered equally. It's a good one, but with a lot of disadvantages. Why? Reason being, at least you're allowing the team members to do what they want because they are grown-ups. But at the end of it all, some people will take advantage of that. So that's what we call laissez-faire or hands-off style. So those are the 5 types of leadership style. These are just 5. There are so many others that I know you're going to research about or you're going to research on. So let's look at a few questions before we look at the assignment. Which of the 5 leadership styles do you like and why? Maybe we can pick like two hands per question, Ruth.
Linda.
I'm sorry, I can't see the questions. Okay, sorry. Of all these, I think I prefer the democratic style.
Okay. Why?
Because here, the decisions are made by the team members. So all of you sit down and make a decision. So it's not only based on one person, but all of you as a team make
Okay.
decisions.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much because it involves the whole team and all the team members make a decision. Thank you. Do you have any other
Next.
hand?
Yes, from Tracy.
Tracy? 1984. Kirawo power honor to everyone.
Hello?
Tracy, are you giving an answer?
Yes.
Okay, please do.
Well, I would prefer charismatic because everyone participates and they're able to air out their opinions. Yeah.
Okay, then in the chat, Paul says, I personally prefer the transactional style. It encourages people to do the right thing always. And then Blair, please raise your hand. Unmute.
Yeah, good evening to you all.
Good evening.
Yeah, me actually, I would like to go with the democratic style. Yeah, it's because like in democratic, like they ask for the perspectives of every member. It's not only the leader who makes the decision. So they ask for perspectives from all the team members. So I think I would like to go with that.
Okay. Thank you
Yes,
so much.
you're welcome.
Okay. Thank you for your answers. So which one is embraced by leaders in your community? Can we have one person answer these? Which one
Oppo,
of the
you named yourself Oppo? Okay, is she? Oh, okay. Bridget?
Most of the leaders that I've interacted with use charismatic because at times people give wrong opinions about different issues just because they want to fail you or what.
Okay, thank you so much. So true, many people use charismatic. I have interacted with people that use transactional, which is really also good. So maybe let's identify situations in our school setting where any of the 5 leadership styles given would be appropriate. Any situation in school where any of the 5 leadership styles given would be appropriate. We can just have one person because of time.
Emmanuel?
Well, I think while we are voting the prefects, I think democratic will be appropriate.
Okay, true, democratic, because these leaders are going to serve everyone. So everyone should really be given an opportunity to say something or vote for the person that they would love to vote for. True, thank you. And then let's go to the next question. Imagine you have been elected the school captain. School captain, let's say class captain. Which leadership style would you prefer and why?
Hands up from, okay, Salma? Salma?
Yes. Hello.
Yes.
Can you get me? Can you get me?
Yes.
I would prefer the democratic style because it allows me to give my opinions on what I want and what my subjects want.
Okay, thank you, Salma. So which style would you apply least and why? Still Salma? Which
Which one
style
would
would
I
you apply
apply?
least?
The hands off.
Okay, why?
Because they would be doing I would have nothing to say. They do what they want, even that which is not accepted.
Okay. All right. So thank you so much, Salma. I don't know whether
You're
anyone else have
welcome.
a different answer.
Trevor? Trevor, your hand was up. Okay. Let's have Faith. Okay. She's not speaking.
Okay.
Let's have last Divine.
Well, for me, I would prefer transactional system because here the people are encouraged to work hard because if you reach the goal, you're given an award and people will work hard so that they don't get the punishment. And I would not prefer laissez-faire because here people will do what they want. There will be disorganization. This one does this and this one does that. So I think laissez-faire is bad. That's my
Wow.
opinion.
Wow, thank you so much, Divine. That's a good one. So, like, I know many of us would prefer different things, and I know we have reasons that would actually back up why we prefer whatever we prefer. Simon has talked about transactional because I think at the end of it all, there's a reward. Someone has mentioned democratic because at least people are given an opportunity to also give suggestions. And then someone also at least has said, I think that two people have said that laissez-faire would not be really good because of the disorganization that it comes with. So I would encourage us to read more about the leadership style so that when you're in a leadership position, you can know what to use as a leader. So the assignment I'm leaving you with is that you research more about other types of leadership styles. These are not the only leadership styles. So kindly research more about other leadership styles and make some notes on them. And then the second assignment is research about the sayings on leadership. Research about sayings on leadership. For instance, one can say that, for instance, you can have a saying like, I'm thinking about one. For instance, one can say that that people get the leaders they deserve. That is a saying. Someone can also say that the actions of a leader inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more. So you can get a saying and then also get what that saying means. Like, for instance, the actions of a leader inspire others to dream more, learn more, or do more, and become more, means that leadership is measured by what the followers do and become. Yes, so kindly research on the different, you can use these sayings while you're writing, whether you're writing a letter, whether you're writing a speech, whether you're writing an essay on all those things, you can use the different sayings. So those are some of the things that I would love you to research on. Then we shall continue from there in our next lesson. In our next lesson, I will also touch something on creative. I don't know whether next week is our last lesson, because I know we have 2 weeks of
No.
learning. So is it the next week or the other week?
The other week.
Okay, so we have like 2 weeks.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Because I'll talk about something to do with writing, what we look at, how we assess writing, and all that. So next week we shall continue with something to do with leadership. Then maybe in our last lesson I will handle something to do with writing. Otherwise, I really wish you a very good afternoon. I don't know whether we still have any questions before I close.
Linda?
So I'm having a question about how we're going to present our research work.
Okay, so Linda, maybe I will share. I don't know. Let me just maybe let me share my number here in the chat so that those who are interested in me having to go through their work.
Christine, do you have the WhatsApp group link nearby?
Oh, okay, let me 90 43 53. So that's my WhatsApp number.
Then Brenda, your question?
There's a WhatsApp group. Maybe let me just look through S4. Where is this S4 groups? There are so many WhatsApp groups for senior. Let me see. There's S1, S4A. I don't know whether it's full. Actually, we still have some space there. Let me just get the link. Invite.
Brenda?
Copy
As
link.
teacher gets the link, Brenda, what do you have to say?
So you can use that link to join one of the WhatsApp groups. Let me look for another stream because I think we have a number of streams. There's S4A, there's S4B. I'm just trying to look through. That is S3. Okay, I'm not seeing where S4B is, but you can, for the meantime, you can join S4A because we still have some space there. For those of you who are not in the WhatsApp group, at least I've seen people have already started joining, which is really good. I hope you've got, some of you are even already sending me messages. Okay. Okay. All right. So, Ruth, what are you saying? So someone is asking, is report the same as a statement? They are different. They are different. They have a different format. We shall look at that. So, Glenn, we have a WhatsApp group. I hope you've seen the link. Okay, Bambi, someone is thanking you for today's lesson. You're most welcome. Thank you. Thank you for appreciating. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. I think even Charity had already shared the WhatsApp link. Charity Shalom, thank you so much. Someone is requesting for the notes. I hope you were taking, someone say, Kasumba says you'd prefer authoritarian. Authoritarian kind of leadership will just make you be stressed for nothing. Because you'll have, you put yourself under a lot of pressure and then people will not deliver. So I wouldn't really advise people to go for, but some people are like that, but it's not a good style of leadership. I'm trying to get the charts. Okay, someone is saying pardon on research work. Tracy, I say that for research on other types of leadership styles. And then you also research about sayings on leadership. Then we shall continue from there in our next lesson. Yes, for now it is only admins who can message because we don't want you people to put, because sometimes when you open those chats, many of you type a lot of, let me say, useless things. So that is why we have restricted the right to only admin. So we shall always pass their communication. You'll get the class links, all other things in that group. Okay, so that is the link once again. That is the link. Ruth, I think I've sent you the link. I want to share it with everyone. Okay. So that is the link. Brenda, your hand is up. Brenda, do you have something to say? Atugonza, I have shared the link. I am sharing it again. You're welcome. Many of you are appreciating. Thank you so much for attending the lesson. See you next week. Have a good afternoon. Is it afternoon or have a good evening?
Okay,
Okay.
can we have a closing prayer?
Yeah. Someone kindly give a closing prayer.
Linda again. Any other person? Okay. Angel, you have not yet said anything. Please lead us. Angel, you have muted. Please unmute.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this lesson. We thank you for our teacher. May you bless her. We thank you that we have got everything she has taught us. We call upon your name in our lives. Thank you for everything. Protect us as we are going back. In Jesus Christ's name, I pray and believe. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Angel, for that wonderful prayer.